Good afternoon, everybody. Today's March 3rd, and I'm just doing an aftermarket synopsis. The U.S. equity market sold off today, in particular tech. Tesla had another down day. We had a situation with Zoom continuing to follow through with selling, probably on the Texas and Mississippi news, because they're inversely related to the lockdowns. As states are opening up, it may hurt their business, is the sentiment. Gold, silver sold off, so the metals. Treasuries sold off. So there was a really big risk off trade that took place today, in which people were just fleeing their assets and across all asset classes. And so the question becomes, how long will this last? What took place that kind of spooked the markets, and what else do we have in store? And right now, there is still a tremendous amount of uncertainty with how fast all the states will open up. There's obviously this spending bill that was looked at on Saturday. They're going to try to pass it. I think not the end of this week, but I think next week. But that's something that was getting people excited on Monday. We sold off a little bit yesterday, and then we had follow through selling today. And so, it's a tough situation because asset prices, everything is priced off of interest rates. And when treasuries continue to sell off, which they've been doing, I just happened to look at the 20-year bond. So about 9 months ago, the 20-year bond, which is now yielding, I think, a little over 2%, 2.1, 2.2%. A year ago, the TLT, which is the 20-year bond ETF, peaked out at about $180 a share. And today, you fast forward to today, so people that were buying treasuries thinking, this is where I need to be. I need to hide out in treasuries. I'm a little scared about where asset prices are. They dropped about $40. So that TLT was at 180, is almost what it peaked at. And today it's at about 140, I think 139 to 140. It was down another percent or so today. So to earn 1 or 2% on your money, and then to have the potential to lose, basically 40, it's not exactly 25%, but you're talking about a little over 20% of the value of your money. 18 times 2 is 36. You went down $41. So, you went down about 21, 22%. It's painful. And especially if you're only picking up 1 to 2% along the way. So sometimes when in a world of uncertainty and you feel the need to chase for yield, I'm not telling anybody what they should buy or sell. I'm just right now, I'm just kind of giving you some information about what to think about before you put your money to work. Is you should ask yourself what risks are taking place that warrant you possibly sitting it out with some of your money. You don't always have to have the money burning a hole in your pocket because you're worried you could have picked up something versus nothing. Because sometimes when you try to pick up something versus nothing, you lose a lot more than that something. And I think people are seeing that firsthand in treasuries. Not just the 20-year from 20-year treasuries from last July, but also just what happened on the 10-year since November, how much that's gone down. So please keep that in mind when you're investing. If you don't know how to look at how asset prices changes with interest rates, please look into it. If maybe that'll be a video that I do just to explain to people how the mathematics of that works in Excel. And I'll create like a little basic template, maybe put it up on my website. You'll be able to download it, and it'll just be a little calculator that you can maybe put in different time frames, or put in a time frame and discount rate and cap rate, so that you can see the delta yourself on how much an asset changes in price. And maybe that'll be helpful. That'll be a helpful tool for people to have. And so with that, I didn't really see any other major news that came out after the close. Basically, I think that there was a big sale in Las Vegas that took place with regards to, I think Wynn sold like $6 billion worth of properties, and which sounds pretty crazy because they sold, yeah. So let's just see here. So Las Vegas Sands, they sold the Venetian, Palazzo, and Sands Expo Convention Center for $4 billion. That's what they sold the properties for. And then Apollo Group is buying the operations for $2.25 billion. Right now, I just went to Vegas a little while ago for a meeting, a business trip. And I got to tell you, it cost me almost less to fly there from Chicago to Vegas than it cost to take a cab from the airport to the hotels. So why am I telling you this? Because price fixing is the cab ride. They have regulation in place where they have a minimum fare requirement for what the fares should be for a cab ride. Meanwhile, the free market with airline travel, it's whatever the airline, they rather have something versus nothing, and they price the tickets to reflect how much they should get just to get something. And that's a perfect example. Those airline tickets I paid $30 to fly for 4 hours in the air each way. 30, so it was like $60 ticket. And then the cab ride was just over $26 for 4 miles. And that goes to show you price fixing versus a free market. Now, granted, these distortions should clean themselves out over time, but I find it amazing that these properties sold for that much, which goes to show you there's a concerted effort to buy physical assets in the economy right now, because clearly the business is truly down, and has been suffering greatly, because that airfare I just told you about, that was during Super Bowl weekend. So I was there during Super Bowl weekend, and that's how cheap it cost to fly to Vegas. So if you don't think this virus is impacting businesses, then you haven't really been out very much lately. But with that being said, I will see you guys in the morning. I'll start to, just so you know, I'll start to schedule these broadcasts so that they're consistent. They're at the same time. I kind of wanted to test it out and see if I would have time every day in my schedule to do them. I will be making time to do a morning cast and then an aftermarket cast. And then with that, at some point, I'll have a sheet. Maybe I can try to put something up where I can show some of the results for the day based on major economic sectors, so that people can see what that looks like. So thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you. Thank you, Mary and Jules, for listening, and I hope that I continue to help gain give you some insights as to what's working.